A red light blinked on the bridge of the UEN Valor, the flagship of Admiral Erik Stroud. The distress call repeated over and over, each word soaked in panic. Earth forces. They came from nowhere. Andromeda is falling. Static followed, then silence. Stroud sat forward in his command chair, his blue eyes locked on the holographic star map in front of him. The Andromeda colony, a symbol of human expansion, was burning. The Zen'vari Empire, a species known for their brutality, had struck without warning. "How many ships do we have in range?" Stroud asked, his voice calm despite the chaos. "Only 3 fleets, sir," said Commander Hale, his second in command. "We're outnumbered at least 5 to 1. A tense silence filled the bridge. 5 to 1. The odds were grim. Then a new transmission came through. This time, it wasn't from a human colony. It was from the enemy. The screen flickered, and a Zen'vari warlord appeared, a towering creature with dark, chitinous armor and burning yellow eyes. His voice was deep and guttural. "Andromeda belongs to us now. Surrender, or be erased." The bridge crew turned to Stroud, waiting for his answer. Stroud didn't flinch. He leaned back in his chair, a slow smirk forming on his face. "Let's show these aliens why humans never surrender." The battle begins. The United Earth Fleet surged forward through the Andromeda sector, weapons charged and ready. The Zen'vari Armada was already in position. Massive warships with spiked hulls, their energy cannons glowing the sickly green. "Incoming fire," shouted a crewman. A rain of plasma bolts streaked toward the fleet. The UEN Valor shook violently as the shields absorbed the first barrage. Stroud gripped the armrests of his chair, his expression unreadable. "Return fire," he ordered. The space around them erupted in blue light as Earth's railguns and missile batteries fired in synchronized waves. Zen'vari ships exploded, but for every alien vessel destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. Hale's face was grim. "Sir, we won't last long at this rate." Stroud stared at the battlefield. He could see the pattern now. The Zen'vari were focusing fire on the larger ships, trying to break the fleet's formation. A plan formed in his mind. "Order the dagger squadrons to flank the enemy's capital ships," he commanded. "Use hit-and-run tactics. We need to disrupt their formation." Small, agile human fighters darted through the chaos, weaving between enemy fire. Explosions bloomed as they struck at weak points, taking out Zen'vari destroyers one by one. The tide of battle began to shift, but not for long. The Zen'vari trap. Just as the UEN fleet gained ground, a massive Zen'vari battleship emerged from hyperspace. It was unlike anything the humans had seen before, 10 times the size of the UEN Valor, covered in pulsating energy veins. "Sir, that ship, it's charging something," Hale warned. A dark hum filled the comms. Then, a massive energy wave blasted out from the alien superweapon, cutting through space like a blade. Entire human ships vaporized in seconds. The bridge trembled. Stroud gritted his teeth. The warlord's voice came through again. "You cannot win, human. Andromeda is already ours." Stroud's eyes narrowed. "Like hell it is." The last gambit. He turned to Hale. "Get me a scan of that ship. Find a weak spot." Seconds later, the data came in. The superweapon's power core was exposed, but only for brief moments between firing cycles. "That's our chance," Stroud said. "Hale, tell the fleet to focus all fire on that core." The order went out. Every remaining human ship turned their guns on the Zen'vari battleship, unleashing everything they had. Missiles streaked. Railguns thundered. The night of space became a storm of fire and destruction. The alien ship tried to fire again, but this time it was too late. A final barrage struck the core directly. A blinding explosion ripped through the Zen'vari warship, tearing it apart from the inside. The wreckage tumbled into space, breaking the enemy's morale. The Zen'vari began to retreat. Stroud let out a slow breath. It wasn't a victory. Not yet, but Andromeda still stood, and humanity was still in the fight. The war has just begun. As the battlefield quieted, a new message came through. A coded distress beacon coming from deep within enemy space. Hale read the transmission aloud. Survivors detected. Need assistance. Warning, Zen'vari weapon in development. Stroud's expression hardened. He turned to his crew. This war isn't over. Not by a long shot. Prepare for the next battle. The last stand of Andromeda. A thick, black fog covered the ruins of New Horizon, once a thriving human city on Andromeda's third-largest colony world. Now, it was a graveyard. The Zen'vari's latest weapon, a bioplague, had turned entire districts into lifeless husks. Buildings stood intact, but the people inside had been reduced to ash. Admiral Erik Stroud watched the burning skyline from the bridge of the UEN Valor. The enemy wasn't just fighting a war. They were erasing humanity from Andromeda. A voice crackled through the comms. Sir, ground forces report entire cities wiped out. There are no bodies, just dust. Stroud clenched his fists. This was genocide. Commander Hale, standing beside him, spoke with grim determination. They think this will break us. Stroud's gaze hardened. No, this will ignite us. The guerrilla war begins. The Zen'vari expected submission. Instead, they got resistance. Human soldiers abandoned direct battles. Instead, they used hit-and-run tactics, striking from the shadows. EMP blasts disabled enemy technology, leaving Zen'vari squads blind in the darkness. Orbital strikes rained down on supply convoys. Sabotage teams slipped into enemy bases, planting explosives before vanishing without a trace. One by one, the Zen'vari began to fear the dark. On the colony world of Nova Reach, a major battle was about to begin. The Zen'vari had sent their largest invasion force, yet to wipe out the last human stronghold in the system. Stroud saw an opportunity. The Battle of Nova Reach. The Zen'vari fleet, confident in their superior numbers, moved toward Nova Reach like a storm. On the surface, human forces waited, not in fear, but in preparation. They had mined the entire battlefield, hidden missile silos beneath the sand, and hacked into the planet's old weather control system. When the Zen'vari landed, the trap was sprung. Lightning storms roared across the battlefield, frying Zen'vari machines. Explosions erupted under their feet, tearing apart their armored walkers. Stealth snipers took down commanders before they could even issue orders. From orbit, the UEN fleet struck. Missiles rained down, cutting through enemy formations. The Zen'vari, for the first time, were the ones being hunted. The enemy's fear. A Zen'vari warlord, watching the battle from his flagship, turned to his second-in-command. Why are they fighting like this? The officer asked, his mandibles clicking in confusion. They should be running. They should be broken. The warlord's yellow eyes burned with realization. No, humans do not break. They adapt. The superweapon threat. As the battle raged, an encrypted message came through to Stroud. It was from a deep-cover operative behind enemy lines. Admiral, the Zen'vari are preparing something worse. A weapon capable of ending this war in a single strike. The screen flickered, showing grainy footage of a colossal structure, surrounded by alien warships. Energy pulsed from its core, a weapon of unimaginable power. Stroud's expression darkened. This war just changed, he muttered. He turned to Hale. Gather every fleet, every soldier, every ship we have left. We end this before it begins. As the last Zen'vari forces fell on Nova Reach, the battle was won. But the war was far from over. The shadow within. The hum of the UEN Valor's engines filled the command deck, but Admiral Erik Stroud barely noticed. His eyes were locked on the man standing in chains before him, Commander Elias Varen, a human officer, a hero of past battles, and now a traitor. Varen had been caught transmitting classified fleet movements to the Zen'vari. When the security team stormed his quarters, they found him erasing files, his hands shaking. But before they could take him in for interrogation, he triggered a failsafe. A deafening explosion tore through the war room, vaporizing terminals, destroying battle plans, and killing 5 officers. The data was gone. Now, standing in the cold glare of the interrogation chamber, Varen said nothing. Stroud's voice was low and sharp. "Why?" Varen exhaled slowly, then smiled. "You don't get it, Admiral," he said. "We can't win." Stroud's jaw tightened. "You think surrender will save you?" He spat. "You think the Zen'vari will spare traitors?" Varen's smile didn't fade. Instead, he laughed. "No, they won't," he admitted. "But they understand something you don't. Humanity is a contagion. We're too aggressive, too unpredictable, too dangerous." Stroud took a slow step forward. "And that's why they want to wipe us out." Varen's grin widened. "Not want, Admiral. Need." Before Stroud could press further, a shrill warning alarm blared through the ship. "Security breach detected. Unauthorized launch sequence initiated." Varen's wrist implant blinked red. Stroud's eyes widened. "He's activated an escape beacon." Before the guards could react, Varen twisted his arms free, revealing a hidden plasma blade. With a single slash, he cut through a soldier's throat. Stroud reached for his sidearm, but it was too late. Varen bolted toward the airlock as the doors slammed shut. Through the glass, Stroud saw a Zen'vari stealth pod waiting outside. The moment the hatch opened, Varen was gone. The war wasn't just being fought on the battlefield. It was inside their own ranks. Underscore 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 underscore. The hunt for the truth. Hours later, Stroud stood before his officers. The room was filled with unease. How many more traitors were out there? The war had changed. The Zen'vari weren't here to conquer. They were here to exterminate. Stroud needed answers, which meant he needed a Zen'vari prisoner. Underscore 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 underscore. Operation Phantom Strike. The plan was simple. 1. Lure a Zen'vari commander into a trap. 2. Capture him alive. 3. Find out the truth. Using a fake distress signal, the UEN fleet staged an abandoned warship in a debris field near Juno 9. When the Zen'vari scouts arrived, the trap was sprung. Hidden strike teams boarded the enemy ship, cutting through defenses. Blades clashed. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air. In the chaos, Commander ExoWars, one of the Zen'vari's top strategists, was taken alive. The humans had their prisoner, and Stroud had his chance to learn why the Zen'vari feared them so much. Underscore 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 underscore. The interrogation. Stroud stood before ExoWars, the alien's yellow eyes burning with defiance. "You can kill me," ExoWars hissed, his mandibles twitching. "But you cannot stop what is coming." Stroud leaned in. "Then tell me what is coming." The Zen'vari commander laughed, the sound deep and inhuman. "You still don't understand, human." His eyes narrowed. "This war isn't about power. It's not about territory. Stroud waited. It's about survival. The alien's gaze darkened. Yours, or ours? Frizalroth's voice turned cold. You expand too fast. You learn too quickly. You adapt where other species crumble. He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. You are a disease, Stroud, and we are the cure. Silence filled the room. Stroud exhaled slowly. So that was it. The Zen'vari didn't just want to win. They wanted to erase humanity before it became unstoppable. Stroud clenched his fists. Then we'll show them what happens when humans refuse to die. The fall of Earth's Gate. The Earth's Gate station hung like a titan in the void, a colossal construct of steel and energy. It was humanity's lifeline, the only stable wormhole connecting the Milky Way to Andromeda. If it fell, the soldiers, civilians, and fleets in Andromeda would be cut off forever. And now, the Zen'vari were coming for it. Underscore 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 underscore. The incoming storm. Admiral Erik Stroud stood on the bridge of the UN Valor, staring at the holographic display. Thousands of Zen'vari warships, dark, jagged, and monstrous, emerged from slip space. Their goal was clear: destroy Earth's Gate. Stroud's officers were tense. They knew what was at stake. They're not just attacking, muttered Captain Rowe, his face pale. They're here to erase us. Stroud exhaled sharply. Not today. He turned to his crew. All ships, prepare for battle. The order sent a shockwave through the fleet. Battle stations lit up, engines roared, and weapons powered on. The final stand for Earth's Gate had begun. Underscore 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 underscore. The battle ignites. The first Zen'vari wave struck like a storm. Their fighters, swift, insect-like ships, swarmed forward, firing plasma torpedoes. UN warships retaliated with railguns and AI-controlled defense drones. Explosions lit up the void as hundreds of Zen'vari ships were torn apart. But for every one destroyed, 3 more appeared. Orbital nukes detonated, sending shockwaves through space. Zen'vari suicide bombers rammed into human carriers, turning them into fireballs. The battle was chaos. Inside Earth's Gate station, ground forces fought desperately as Zen'vari boarding parties breached the hull. Blood painted the corridors. Every hallway, every room became a battlefield. And still, the humans held the line. Underscore 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 underscore. The doomsday weapon. Suddenly, alarms blared. Massive energy spike detected, shouted a technician. On the screen, a Zen'vari dreadnought moved into position. At its core, a superweapon hummed to life, the wormhole disruptor. If fired, it would collapse Earth's Gate permanently, trapping the entire human fleet in Andromeda. Stroud's heart pounded. We have to stop it. But the UN fleet was outnumbered. The Zen'vari pushed deeper, surrounding Earth's Gate. underscore 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 underscore. The last charge. Stroud's voice was firm. All remaining ships, focus fire on that dreadnought. The fleet surged forward, engines burning hot. Destroyers, cruisers, and battleships poured everything they had into the Zen'vari warship. Explosions ripped through its hull, but the disruptor kept charging. Then, a message flashed across the screen. Wormhole disruptor, 97% charge. They were out of time. Stroud's grip tightened. There was only one way. A suicide run. All hands, abandon ship, he ordered. But before he could move, Captain Rowe grabbed his arm. Go, Admiral. I'll finish this. Stroud's eyes widened. No, Rowe. But the captain was already moving. He locked the UN Valor on a collision course and turned to Stroud. See you on the other side, sir. Stroud barely had time to eject before the ship surged forward at full speed. With a thunderous explosion, the UN Valor slammed into the Zen'vari dreadnought. A blinding shockwave erupted. The wormhole disruptor shattered. The dreadnought collapsed in on itself. The humans had won, but at a terrible cost. Underscore 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 underscore. The collapse of Earth's gate. Stroud's escape pod drifted through space. He watched as Earth's gate burned. With one final blast, the wormhole collapsed. The link to the Milky Way was gone. Andromeda was now a graveyard. The Zen'vari believed humanity was finished. But Stroud knew better. This wasn't the end of the war. It was just the beginning. The galaxy watches in silence. The fall of Earth's gate was supposed to be the end. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations observed the war from the shadows. Some had feared humanity. Some had admired them. Now, they only mourned them. The Zen'vari Empire declared victory. They sent a message to all. The humans are no more. And for a time, the galaxy believed them. The Milky Way was cut off. No distress signals. No reinforcements. No survivors. Humanity was erased from Andromeda. Or so they thought. Underscore 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 underscore. A signal from the abyss. Somewhere in the cold, dead reaches of space, a whisper echoed. At first, it was faint. A flicker of radio waves, a pulse of energy. The Zen'vari scientists dismissed it as static. But the signal grew stronger. And then the message came. A voice, calm, unbroken, and chilling. You should have finished the job. The Zen'vari froze. A second message followed. Now it's our turn. And with that, the Revenant fleet revealed itself. Underscore 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 underscore. The ghosts of humanity. Deep in the abandoned worlds of Andromeda, hidden from enemy sensors, humanity had rebuilt. For months, Admiral Erik Stroud had been preparing in the shadows. Scattered survivors, broken ships, wreckage of old battles. He had pieced together an armada, a fleet of warships born from ruins. Some were old UEN cruisers, patched with alien technology. Some were black market vessels, stolen and modified. And some were ghost ships, Zen'vari warships, captured and reprogrammed against their former masters. A fleet of vengeance. A fleet of the dead. And now it was ready. Underscore 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 underscore. The first strike. The Zen'vari colony of Sci-Fi 7 was a fortress world, heavily guarded, its skies filled with warships and planetary defenses. For months, it had been untouchable. Then, on a night like any other, the stars themselves seemed to shift. Zen'vari commanders noticed strange movements in the asteroid belts. Their scanners flickered, their signals jammed. Then, silence. For a full minute, their sensors saw nothing. Then, death came. From the void, the Revenant fleet emerged. It did not hail. It did not warn. It simply opened fire. Underscore 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 underscore. Vengeance unleash. Railguns shattered the orbital defenses. Stealth bombers slipped past security grids, planting EMP charges inside Zen'vari command centers. Hackers broke into the planetary network, turning their own automated defenses against them. Zen'vari warships scrambled to respond, but the Revenant fleet fought like nothing they had ever seen. They didn't fight for land. They didn't fight for power. They fought for revenge. Zen'vari ships exploded by the dozens. The colony's main reactor was breached. A massive mushroom cloud rose over the planet's capital. By dawn, Sci-Fi 7 was gone. Underscore 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 underscore. The galaxy reacts. The news spread like wildfire. Humanity has returned. The Zen'vari panicked. This was not the same species they had defeated. This was a different enemy, one that never stayed dead. Admiral Stroud stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the flames rise from Sci-Fi 7. He turned to his crew, eyes cold. First, they hunted us. He clenched his fist. Now we hump them. And so, the Revenant War began. The ultimate weapon, Zenith Prime. A planet-sized war machine, hidden in the depths of the Zen'vari Empire. For centuries, it had remained a myth, a weapon of unimaginable destruction, capable of wiping out entire solar systems in a single blast. Now, it was real. And it was charging. The Zen'vari knew the truth. Humanity could not be crushed by normal war. They adapted. They evolved. They refused to die. There was only one solution: extermination. If Zenith Prime fired, Earth would cease to exist. The final assault. Admiral Erik Stroud stared at the holographic display. The Revenant fleet had fought its way through countless battles, countless losses. Now, this was it. The last battle. The fleet had one chance: destroy Zenith Prime before it fired. Their numbers, a fraction of what they once were. Their weapons, running low. Their odds, less than zero. But that never stopped them before. Stroud took a deep breath, then sent the order. We end this. Now. Hellfire over Zenith. The human fleet surged forward, engines burning, weapons locked. Zen'vari defense stations opened fire. Thousands of railgun rounds and energy blasts filled the void. Human warships weaved through the firestorm, engines screaming. Zen'vari dreadnoughts launched wave after wave of fighters, blackening the sky. A human destroyer took a direct hit. Its core detonated in a burst of blue fire. Another one vanished under a Zen'vari cruiser's heavy cannons. But still, the Revenant fleet pressed on. Humanity is winning. Inside the Zenith Prime control room, the Zen'vari warlord watched the battle unfold. His eyes narrowed. Something was wrong. Humanity was winning. This was not possible. They were outnumbered. Their forces were outgunned. And yet, his fleet was breaking. Humanity was fighting like demons. They didn't fear death. They embraced it. They sacrificed ships without hesitation, ramming into enemy cruisers, taking entire squadrons down with them. They weren't fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting for vengeance, for annihilation, for victory. The only option left. On the Revenant flagship, alarms blared. The countdown to Zenith Prime's activation had begun. There was no way to destroy the weapon in time. There was one option left. Admiral Stroud clenched his fists. His voice was calm. Ram the ship into the core. The crew froze. One officer hesitated. "Sir, that's suicide." Stroud turned to face him, eyes like steel. "I know." Silence. Then, one by one, the crew nodded. They all knew what had to be done. The final charge. The flagship's engines roared to life. Its titanic frame shook as it accelerated straight toward Zenith Prime's core reactor. Enemy ships tried to stop them. Zen'vari dreadnoughts moved to block their path. The flagship's forward cannons fired at full power, tearing a hole straight through the blockade. Zen'vari warships crashed into each other, desperate to stop the charge. But it was too late. The Revenant flagship broke through. The last thing the Zen'vari warlord saw was humanity's final act of defiance. Zenith Prime falls. A blinding explosion erupted across the system. The core of Zenith Prime detonated, sending a shockwave of fire and destruction across space. The planet-sized weapon imploded, tearing itself apart. The Zen'vari fleet shattered, their warships caught in the blast. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, a voice echoed across all frequencies. Zenith Prime is gone. Humanity had done the impossible, and the Zen'vari Empire was falling. The silence after war. The war was over. Zenith Prime was gone. The weapon that could have erased humanity had been destroyed. The Zen'vari fleet was shattered, their once mighty warships now burning wrecks floating in the void. The Revenant fleet had won. But victory did not bring peace, because now the real question remained. What happens next? The fall of an empire. Across the Zen'vari homeworlds, panic spread like wildfire. Their leaders were dead, their fleets crippled, their armies broken. For centuries, the Zen'vari had believed themselves to be invincible, the rightful rulers of the stars. Now, they were begging for mercy. On every channel, their desperate messages filled the void. "We surrender. We will leave Andromeda forever. Just spare us." But there was no answer, because humanity had a decision to make. The two sides of humanity. On the bridge of the Revenant flagship, Admiral Erik Stroud listened in silence. His officers stood around him, their faces grim, uncertain. Across the fleet, debate raged. Some humans, politicians, diplomats, even some soldiers, wanted peace. The war is over. They're broken. Let them go. We are not murderers. But others, the survivors, the ones who had lost everything, wanted something else. Vengeance. They started this war. They killed our families, our friends, our homeworlds. We should finish them. And so, humanity stood on the edge of a choice. Would they show mercy or fury? Would they be saviors or executioners? The final decision. Admiral Stroud said nothing for a long time. He had seen too much. The burning cities, the ruined colonies, the endless names on casualty lists. He had watched Earth's gate fall. He had seen planets turned to ash by Zen'vari weapons. He had led men and women into battles where survival was impossible. And yet, they have fought anyway. And now, he was expected to decide the fate of an entire species. Finally, he turned to his officers. His voice was calm, cold, final. They wanted to wipe us out. He looked at the massive human war fleet, standing ready. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. The last remnants of the Zen'vari Empire, trembling in the dark. Stroud's eyes hardened. Now, we decide what happens to them. The screen fades to black.